Portugal's economy has risen and fallen alongside many of its neighbours over the past years, but some of the industries and companies have remained resilient. One such is Siemens Portugal, whose CEO, Melo Ribeiro, joins me down the line now. Carlo, you've been with Siemens now for 20 years. How has the company developed in that time, and how has it contributed to and worked with Portugal's economy?
So Siemens is in Portugal for 110 years, and in the last 20 years, I've been the CEO of this company. We can divide these last 20 years more or less in 4 phases. The first phase, we turned our low-cost factories into high-tech factories. We invested a lot and created around 5,000 high-tech workplaces. Second phase was the investment on software and research and development in telecommunications. We developed more than 1,000 engineers exporting research for the Siemens world. Third phase, when Siemens decided to sell its telecommunications and do a joint venture with Nokia, we turned our development into the development of centers of competence engineering and services. We developed more than 18 centers of competences with more than 1,000 people working for the Siemens world. In the last phase, when the crisis of Europe arrived, we turned ourselves to the rest of the world and to use our engineering capacities in the growing world of Siemens, example, Africa.
So where are you focusing on now, and how are you approaching new markets?
2 years ago, Siemens restructured its world organization and created 30 lead countries having the responsibility of taking care of other countries. And we got the responsibility to take care of Angola and Mozambique. Those are countries that speak Portuguese, where we have a very big liaison. In all these 20 years, we did the major infrastructure projects in Portugal, combined cycles, renewable energies, automation in the industry. We have the biggest implementation of the railway installation in Portugal. So we had a lot of capacities developed in Portugal that we are now trying to use to the rest of the world, and in this case, especially in Africa, where the development of these countries need all our capacities.
The TTIP is, of course, big news at the moment. How do you see it opening up trade for Portugal and indeed Siemens?
Siemens has 70% of its people working in Europe and the US. The creation of this market will bring 200 billion extra business. So Portugal will be in the middle. We'll increase our industry in exports. We will increase our energy production. We will be in the middle of logistics and ports. So I think this is of the most importance for a country like Portugal. What I say is that our company, and I would say the government of Portugal, should invest a lot in planning the activities towards this biggest market in the world.
Carlo, thank you.
Welcome.
Now, another company bucking the trend is the Fladgate Partnership, makers of fine port. Adrian Bridge, CEO, joins me now. Adrian, 2015, a good year for Portuguese wine?
Yeah, we've experienced an extremely good viticultural cycle. It was a little bit drier last winter, but we've had a very hot spring and a hot summer right now. So what we're seeing is good quality grapes being grown. The harvest will be a couple of weeks earlier than perhaps last year, but enormous potential. Obviously, like any agricultural business, we have a challenge, and that is that we are sitting here with our fingers crossed, hoping that the weather doesn't change and rain doesn't happen between now and September. So it's quite a long time to wait. But if everything carries on the way it is, yes, it'll be fabulous.
How can a company innovate in such a traditional sector as the port wine sector, transforming it into an appealing product that sells to 72 countries around the world?
Well, I think port wine is one of the world's most famous wines, and it's a business that we've now been in at Taylor's Port for over 323 years. And so, it has the great advantage is that it's enjoyed by consumers today as much as it was hundreds of years ago. It hasn't, if you like, gone out of fashion. I think that provides not only tremendous opportunities, but I think also that we need to innovate, and clearly we have innovated with new styles of port like LBV or pink or organic ports, or indeed some single harvest dated ports. We've innovated with packaging and presentation of our products. We've innovated with developing markets and engaging new consumers and new consumption moments. But I think most of all, and most importantly, we have innovated in our vineyards and in our wineries, and that is obviously ensuring the quality. And the quality is perhaps the most important thing, and it's something that we strive to do to improve, year in, year out.
Portugal's economy is known to be traditional, but it does have very innovative sectors. How are they driving the country forward?
It's not so much that, Portugal's economy is known to be traditional so much as that it values tradition. It's an important distinction because the traditional values of sort of honesty, hard work, stability are critical platforms on which one can innovate and businesses can be built. People come here to Portugal to see and hear and visit and learn about how we make our products, and they value the traditions that are clearly inherent in what we do and what we've been doing for over 300 years. But they're also delighted to discover how well this combines with modern state-of-the-art development that we have in our wineries and in our products and presentations. So I think this balance is what is so important and what helps to drive the country forward.
Finally, what's the advantages of doing business in and with Portugal?
Portugal, went out 600 years ago to discover the world and develop trade, and that spirit of entrepreneurship and is very much that pioneering spirit which is still alive and can be found in the nation. And then I think the importance there for the Portuguese people, their willingness to embrace new challenges, creates a very positive environment. That combining with the fact that the Portuguese people have a tremendous ability in foreign language, particularly in English, which makes a difference and places Portugal, if you like, in a great difference to many other Mediterranean nations. It's easy to get things done, it's easy to communicate, and I believe these are vital ingredients for any business. The important point is the potential is enormous here in Portugal.